The big Xbox business update did happen today after a lot of speculation over the past 2 or 3 weeks on what exactly was going to happen. Are they getting rid of Xbox consoles? 10 years from now, will there even be Xboxes? Well, in the 22-minute, 55-second video, a lot was revealed. I think it was a very good video. They talked about a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to get this out of the way just right off the bat. No, Xbox is not going away. They are not getting rid of consoles. That whole thing was totally blown out of proportion. But in terms of other games that are Xbox exclusives going multi-platform, that's kind of how the rumor of Xbox going away, that's kind of how it started. Well, that is correct, but not for all exclusives. So Phil Spencer said that there are 4 Xbox exclusives that are going to be going multi-platform soon. He did not reveal what exactly these 4 games are, but he said they will be revealed quite soon. I think he said they would be revealed by their respective studios. Now, through a lot of leaks and rumors, it is highly speculated that these 4 games are Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, and Sea of Thieves. I think these 4 games would kind of make a lot of sense. Phil kind of hinted during the video that these are all games that have been around for at least a year or more, and he kind of said something along the lines of, they've ran their course with the Xbox community, and now it was kind of time to just bring them to other communities to enhance the overall player experience. So I think that makes sense for those 4 games, but we'll just have to wait and see. It might not be those 4 games. Sounds like whatever they are, they will be announced soon. And I'm guessing when they say multi-platform, of course they mean Switch and PS5, but I'm assuming they also mean like Steam. I guess that's probably it. And speaking of exclusivity, another thing that Phil Spencer talked about that really was no surprise is the fact that exclusives for consoles, they're kind of fading out of relevancy, so to speak. So he kind of talked about how, a decade or 2 ago, the games that were completely dominant were always console exclusives. Halo was a console exclusive. Jak and Dexter for PlayStation, console exclusive. Any Mario games, console exclusive. But they talked about how now that's really not the case. The huge games these days, Apex, Fortnite, Overwatch, Roblox, Minecraft, these are all multi-platform games. They're not just glued to one console, one machine. So he said that while Xbox is not planning on just dumping all of their exclusives onto other consoles, he kind of nodded at the fact that gaming is better when there aren't exclusives, and basically anybody can play any game. Like I said, this was really no surprise if you've been paying attention to what he has been saying and really what Xbox has been saying about stuff like this for kind of the past year or 2 now. So saying this, plus the announcement of the 4 exclusives going multi-platform, I think it's safe to say that this is not the last we are hearing of Xbox games going multi-platform. Maybe this is going to be a thing going forward where, an Xbox exclusive, it's only exclusive on the Xbox console for, a year, and then it goes multi-platform. I don't know. There are tons of possibilities of how this could look in the future. And speaking of looking in the future, when we're looking at the next Xbox console, they talked a bit during this business update about that. No, they didn't name drop the new console or anything like that, but they kind of teased that, it's definitely in the works. The Xbox Series is kind of, getting into the latter half of its life cycle. And they said something pretty interesting, that the newest console will be the, quote, largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation. That's definitely a bold claim. I hope it's true. Now, I have definitely felt in the last 2 or 3 years now, and I know other console players kind of feel this same way, that I'm really wanting to just get a PC going forward. Consoles just kind of don't seem like the way to go. Like Phil Spencer said, a lot of the big games these days are not console exclusives, and by having a console, you're kind of limiting yourself to not being able to play PC games. So PC might kind of be the way to go for me in the future, but this whole, largest technical leap we've ever seen with consoles, that is pretty interesting. I could definitely see it being some sort of like an Xbox PC hybrid, especially for gamers such as myself who kind of want that sort of hybrid. You like the couch controller play of consoles, but you also don't want to be limited to just console games. There's so many PC games out there that we're missing out on. So who knows? But I thought it was kind of interesting that they were kind of teasing the next console and just making some bold claims that it's going to have, I guess, great specs. Now, the main takeaway, I think, from this podcast, this whole business update, was that Microsoft is kind of experimenting with this multi-platform strategy. So yeah, kind of getting back to the whole multi-platform thing, they made it pretty clear that the whole reason they are interested in this is because they just want to see how these games perform on other consoles. They were pretty out in the open that, hey, this could benefit them by putting these exclusives on other consoles if they perform well. Pretty obvious. Obviously, money talks. I'm sure there was like a part of them that was really trying to walk on a tightrope and not just go, totally all in on this whole multi-platform vision that they have going forward because they want people to still be interested in buying Xboxes. They made it clear during this business update that you're going to have a lot of benefits, being on the Xbox console, that there will always be games that will just be able to be played on the Xbox console. At the end of the day, they definitely want to sell their hardware, I get that, but they're definitely testing the waters to see how much PlayStation and Nintendo gamers like their exclusives. I think these 4 games are a great choice, by the way. Sea of Thieves, for example, it is by no means a dead game, but it's not as popular as when it came out, so going multi-platform could really spark some more interest in that game. I believe it's, a sort of live service multiplayer game, and I think it is one of those, free games that have like paid cosmetics. So I think a lot of people on Switch and PS5 would be at least curious to download it and see how they like it. So yeah, I just thought this whole update was pretty cool. I think the 3 of them, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty, I think they did a great job presenting what their vision is going forward. I think it's very cool. This is something that we haven't really seen ever with the whole quote-unquote, console wars since, ever since consoles have existed. We will see how this turns out, and it sounds like we will be very shortly hearing from these 4 companies, whatever they are, that their games are going multi-platform. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere soon down the road, it's a lot more than 4 games.